single flower on a Dendrobium moniliforme. Just came out now. These ones are doing pretty well. Look, they're starting to grow now, attaching to the tree. Another one here. Another one. It's a pretty wet day. And how about this one? You can see that root coming on there. Neophynicia falcata. They do really good on trees. They do even better than in the mossy kokedama moss. They do even better just strapped onto a tree like this. It's pretty wet. This Dendrobium over here is still in flower. Next door neighbor. There's a snail coming out to have a feed. Did you know that these snails in Japan, they have something quite unique about them? They are able to swing their shell like a fist when they are threatened and something wants to attack them. Which this one's not going to do it. They can actually swing that shell around and around and around ferociously. It's to knock beetles off balance or make them fall because they try to eat them. So they have that defense mechanism. So I'm pretty happy about these moniliformes because they're looking good. Starting to take onto the tree. There's one right up in here that did flower, but I didn't see it. It's so high up. It looks as though it's got some other buds on it. So that's great. Like that. There's a shrub of mine. Love these flowers. Right. This one does flower a lot. It's native of Japan. Australia, and I did plant it in the garden. It got through winter no problem, and it had a tag, but it seems to be knocked away, taken away. The Blatilas have nearly come to the end of their flowering. back to My Life with Plants. I'm Newman. Today we're going to have a look at some plants growing along the windowsill. The windowsill has some surprises. The first one is this. Look at these leaves. Aren't they incredible? This is a very common house plant, known as the friendship plant. It has these pubescent leaves with a ciliate or ciliate means hairs on the edge of the leaves there. And it is serrated leaves. This has so much interesting things about it. And it has this beautiful green that's so bright. And when you keep these leaves reasonably clean, they actually shine. They shine like green emeralds. And this interesting texture, this corrugated texture, which may serve as a way for this plant to get extra photosynthesis, because it does grow in very, very shady, moist to wet understory of the jungle. And its name is Pilea involucrata, native to Central and South America. And this plant can get quite shrubby, so it can get quite tall, maybe about this tall, 15 centimeters. But if you don't wish it to do that, you can prune it. And check out these new leaves. Look how dark they are. It's just getting average light, no direct sun. You can see here that there's some shade that I've put up. Maybe not the most attractive looking way to do it. Better yet is to use a lace curtain, but this is for also insulation. I put it there in the winter. It's not winter now, however. But another nice surprise it has, as I was looking around, I found something. Here we are. It has its flower bud coming. Looks like a little cauliflower. There's one there. And another one. It says that it's generally not inclined to want to flower indoors, but this one is, so all I can say is that it's got a place that it likes. This is a south-facing window, so I'm in the northern hemisphere here in Japan, so that would be the brightest location where the sun comes around from the east, and the sun is mainly on this side, on the south side, and our shady side is the north. And this bubble wrap and this paper towel actually shades it, so it's not getting any direct. It's just bright light, very bright, very bright. And I made a habit of writing the name on it so I don't forget anymore. Right next to it is this common house plant, and it is Ceropegia, or as I say, Ceropegia woodii, the chain of hearts. Everybody knows it called for its name, the chain of hearts. These heart-shaped leaves, or cordate, and it has variegation on it, and this variegation is just natural for this plant. All of these plants have this. It's the way that they blend in with the foliage. Probably makes it harder for butterflies and moths to lay eggs on it because it kind of doesn't look like it's alive. If it was a fresh green color, they would attract them more, and I guess they just avoid it, so it's a defense mechanism. And it has a lot of flowers on it. And what's interesting about these flowers is that they are lanterns. But why are they lanterns? Why does it produce these flowers? Well, these flowers attract little midges or fungus gnats who are attracted to the tip here. Kind of looks like their friends, their hairy little friends with wings. They come along and they make their way down the tube there. And as they go down, they fall. It's hard for them to get out, so that they spend most of the next few days trapped inside and get all pollen all over them. Of course, when the flower wilts, it'll start to sag down a little bit, and it makes it easier for them to make their way out. And they'll go to the next one, completely forgetting what they were doing, and then do pollination. There are a lot of species in this genera, and so that Ceropegia is quite widespread throughout Africa. You will find ones with huge white lanterns called ampliata, and it's not like this at all. It actually has thick stems as thick as my fingers, cylindrical and grayish, kind of like a succulent. Ceropegia can even be found in India, where those particular vines are more fleshy and more leaf-like structures. They have bigger leaves and look like a typical plant, whereas these are a little more succulent. But that's no mistake for its unappreciation of water. We do like plenty of water. And over here you can see a bulby thing. This is a corum, or a storage vessel. So as this plant gets older, it produces these, and that's because it is a plant that crawls along the ground. It's not a vine or a climber so much. It's a sprawling plant, and so when it produces these tubers or corms here, these things store food like little potatoes, and then it'll actually sprout out from here and grow a whole new plant, or it's a mechanism for survival. And this is a great place to do your cuttings from. And if you plant this into the soil, you'll grow more of them. This is in full bloom now, so I get lots of lantern-like flowers. This is the most common, as I said before, but common is a misconception. If you had never seen this plant before, you would be inclined to want to buy it straight away without hesitating. But we just see it so much that we lose our interest in it. It just becomes too common. But I've always had this plant. I'll never lose interest in it. I always think it's amazing. I always find something new and interesting about it every time I look at it. Maybe it's how hairy that flower structure is at the top. And it makes me wonder why it's created like that. So Ceropegia is in the Aspilidaceae family, along with Stapelias and Hoodeas and Huenias and the greater Hoya, which is in that family too. So if you really love Hoyas, you'll love Serapedias. And another one is called Caralluma. It's like a big stapelia kind of thing with thick stems that look like stapelias. It goes in more tropical, wet regions. And then you have Sinuntium. And the Sinuntium is kind of similar looking to this, except that stems can look dead looking, grayish looking sticks, and they grow little tiny green lanterns, and they look really neat. Really neat plants. So yeah, don't concern yourself about how common or how available a plant is. That's just because of its very perfect adaptation to survival, which makes it even more interesting how it has all the survival techniques to do well, even in cultivation. The next one is also a very common plant, but I love it, and it needs a tag because I keep forgetting its name. This is a kind of bulbous plant that's in the lily family. It has these beautiful, shiny, silvery leaves with these green blotches on it. This grows in a relatively dry area, so I can get I can have quite a dry winter where it comes from the east of South Africa, and it grows in semi-shade. And it's not uncommon for this to actually go a few months without water at all, and these bulbs will shrivel right up, and the succulent leaves here will die back, and then it'll come away with a fresh spurt of growth. But here in cultivation, it doesn't do that. We can actually manage to keep it green all year round, and it doesn't hinder its ability to flower either. So these flowers are quite interesting. They hang down. Whatever it's pollinating is very close to the ground. It's an insect that is found almost close to the ground. It's trying to attract. So these bellflowers hang down, and you can see that these blue stamens are covered in pollen. It's very hard to see the pistil or the female part. With my eyes, I won't be able to see it. And it has these petals that are almost like sepals more than petals. You can see that that flower bud is actually opened up, and there are no petals, so it's sepals. And sepals are just what is on the outside of the flower that protects the bud from damage. They're kind of hard and waxy to the touch. And its name is going to come to me one day. Starts with L. Leptioides, Ledoboria socialis. There, it came to me. Ledoboria socialis. Magnificent plant. If you don't have one already, and if you do decide to grow it, you'll be really happy with it. It's beautiful. And if you have it, like I have it in this beautiful, shiny pot here, this glazed pot. But if you have a nice shallow glazed pot that's almost round and very large, this thing will just absolutely fill it. It'll look magnificent. What else do we have? Let me get up. It's on my knees there. And I just want to show you the buds on this Hoya. And I got to put a tag on this too, but I forget. As soon as I finish the video, I'll forget again. It's a very easy to get Hoya. It's not hard to get at all. It's not latifolia, it's Hoya. It'll come to me. I'll put its name on the screen, but these very dark green leaves are actually its newest leaves that it's put out. And it's putting out, what's interesting is that it puts out its leaves actually close to the bottom of the plant rather than up higher. It tends to send out its sprawling vines. They want to grapple and grab around things. And until it's done that, it might produce leaves then, but produces a lot of leaves down lower, which I kind of like that because it fills in the plant. These leaves are getting bigger. How big that one is. And during the warm season, so it's about 25 to 30 degrees on the average day, it is sitting in this cache pot. And this cache pot is just a jar or a plastic container without the lid. And I can see right inside there, and I fill it up every other day, about an inch of water. So it sucks it all up and drinks it, and it likes that. It actually likes a lot of water, even though it is quite like a cardboard leaf. Also succulent, but more of cardboard stiff. And these buds. These buds are as beautiful as the flowers, which I've never seen personally. And the thing is that this adventitious vine that's come off it, you would be inclined to want to cut it off because you may think that it's bald and has no leaves. But don't forget that Hoyas want to, first of all, they send out the vine. They're not going to invest in any of their energy putting leaves onto a vine that will eventuate to nothing. But once it does grab onto something and it feels secure, it will put out leaf growth. And not only that, it's where it produces peduncles. So you should never cut them off. They're just amazing. Look at that. I'm just fascinated by the color, how deep their color is. I'm going to say that color because I got color blindness. So if I tell you that this is a certain color, don't be surprised. Some colors are just difficult to pick up. All I see is black. Whatever other color is in there. It could be red in there, but red is a very hard color for me to see. Well, look at that. Look at that. It's got this little peduncle here with one bud on it. And this is Hoya Dakii. And Hoya Dakii also has the cache pot, and I do fill it with an inch of water. Once it's drunk it all up, I'll put more in. Don't be afraid to do that because it really benefits the plant. You can see that it is putting out some big leaves. We've got one right there that's against the curtain, least curtain. Let's got another one here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I'm addicted to plants, so every time I look up more Hoyas, I want to buy more and more and more. But got to control myself. Got to remind myself that if this next Hoya that I'm looking at has a leaf that looks like, or anything like this, and if the flowers are anything that similar to the same color, then I'm not going to get it. Because I'm just going to end up with too over clutter. I mean, this is kind of this is a manageable amount of plants, and they all have space. But I could keep buying and buying and buying until it reaches a point where the plants are squashed right against each other, or vining into each other, or climbing into each other, or just I have so many plants in the end that are so similar that I just naturally find it overwhelming, and I'm not able to find the joy anymore. It just turns into a massive, over demanding job. And I want to have plants that are really, really different and really unique from each other, so that I have that passion to want to continue looking after them because they're all so unique. But if you have a lot of similar plants and you keep buying similar and you keep building them up like that, well, I'm just referring to me. Just if you want to do that, that's up to you. But I started doing that with my cacti too, and then what I realized is that I have 3 cacti on the balcony that have almost exactly the same flower. They're all similar looking, and maybe the yellows are a little different. One's brighter than the other, but then it just becomes a collection that's turning into a collection that I can't handle anymore. I can't maintain it. I can't keep track of it. I'm going to end up favoring one more than the other and neglect the other. So I just want to have one yellow and a red one, a pink. If it's a dark pink with variegation in the leaf, then that would be fine. Yeah, I'm trying to control it from getting out of hand, because I'm just human. We're all human after all. And we love plants, and we just want to get more, more and more and more. I mean, I saw another plant the other day, and I really wanted it, but and it was a cactus, but I have a one that has the same red flowers, exactly the same scarlet red. So I thought to myself, I can't do it, right? But I'll tell you something that I did buy, and I've always wanted to have one. It's a Hoya rotundifolia, because I just find that so interesting, these leaves. These truncate leaves, they just come to an abrupt wedge shape. Well, they're actually like spatulate, actually. And unfortunately, the one I got is quite withered and dehydrated. So I'm trying to get its roots back. I didn't know it was that bad, actually, until it got delivered, and waiting for it to get some roots. Look at this. This is another common plant, Phalaenopsis. It's the large flowering one. It has this magnificent display, and once again, like I said, I just want to buy more Phalaenopsis. I keep seeing more and more and more, and I want to have them, and I want to have them, but I would end up in a predicament where I just can't. I haven't got the time to look at every single one and admire every single one all the time, and if they got problems with their roots, I wouldn't be able to get around to it. So I try to control that. And this one is actually a gift, and I just have this desire in me, this motivation in me to look after the ones that are gifted to me. Because I see these and I want to buy them, but when they're gifted to me, it's just like, it's real special. if you know what I mean. You just think, oh my gosh, this person has actually been growing this all these years and they've gifted it to me. This one was actually quite run down, as I said before, and I've brought it back to great health, and now it's become special. It's got really nice leaves too, really long, and this is its latest one that it put out. And if you really love a plant, buy it. Buy it because you like it. That's why you love the hobby. Why do you love the hobby? Because you love plants. I love every plant. There's no plant that I don't like. I love garden plants. I love annuals. I love pansies. I look at pansies and I see how beautiful pansies are. These days, I look at them even more because I've just taken it for granted. They're just everywhere. And another thing that I try to remember is, does this plant do really well for me, or in my window, or in my climate? And if it does, and I'm more inclined to go that way these days, if there's another variety of orchid that just doesn't do any good for me and I struggle with it, and it's not because the plant is difficult to grow, it's just I've got it in the wrong conditions totally. And there's always something that is almost identical to it, but a different species, or even a different genera of plant. And so I just tend to go that way these days. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's time up. My memory is loaded up, and I think that's enough for today, but I hope you enjoyed watching. This is just me enjoying my plants and enjoying it with you, and I like sharing the hobby. So if you found this interesting, please share it with your friends, or maybe somebody else that's interested in plants, and by all means, leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you. Bye-bye.